Hey guys, welcome to the Brofessional Development podcast. Today's episode 92. We're shooting the shit today. We're going to, address obviously the horror story that is the mass shootings that just happened. But on, a little bit of a lighter note, we discuss Airbnb parties, how they're running rampant and just affecting my sleep, the job market, and our monkeypox, the hot new STD. Fucking hell. Let us know what you guys think. Thanks. Hey guys, welcome to the Brofessional Development Podcast. Today's episode 92. We're gonna shoot the shit. We're gonna talk a little bit about current events and what's going on in our lives. One thing we did want to address is, obviously it was yesterday, the mass shootings that happened. A lone gunman entered a Texas elementary school and opened fire. Killed 19 kids, 2 adults. Essentially, is the deadliest school shooting in almost a decade. For this, no politics, no sides picked here. We're not fucking with that, but we feel like everybody should address this because it's a fucking tragedy, no matter which way you cut it. There's an issue happening here, whether we talk about, whether it's gun control, mental health, or something else that we don't yet understand. But things like this, we feel like shouldn't be hidden just because they're very uncomfortable to talk about. So, again, we just wanted to address it. Obviously, the families of all those people that are affected by this are in our thoughts. And then we'll probably just leave it at that.
So I know we say no politics and stuff like that, but there was the guy, so Steve Kerr, head coach of the Warriors, had a little bit of they asked him about last night's game and leading up to that, and I don't know if you saw his whole rant that he had about it, about they're just obviously, and like you said, like something just has to change. Like you said, whether it's a conversation around mental health or whether it's gun control, but I even think it's weird, and I don't know why my brain goes this way, but have you ever watched, do you watch Black Mirror? You ever watch those episodes?
I've seen it, yeah.
There's an episode where the Topher Grace, if you know that actor, he played like one of the villains in Spider-Man. I can't remember what else this dude is in. He was that 70s show guy.
Yes.
That 70s show guy.
Yep.
He is in an episode of Black Mirror where he is essentially like Mark Zuckerberg, and he turns on what's called God mode, where he can see what is happening in every single person's phone through their camera. And it just makes me think about, because Shelby was looking up some of what had happened yesterday, this morning, and this guy posted on Facebook that he's like, I'm going to shoot.
This is obviously like near and dear to everybody, but specifically Shelby because she's a school teacher.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so apparently this gunman, 18-year-old kid, had posted on social media saying, I'm going to shoot my grandma, posted on Facebook after he shot his grandma, then proceeded to crash his car, posted to Facebook and said, I'm going to shoot up an elementary school. I don't know if it was exactly those words, but you have something like this happening on social media, and you just wish that in the moments where social media is mostly perceived as a bad thing, because it is mostly a bad thing and can fuck with a lot of people's mental health, and people get stuck scrolling and all this stuff. You almost wish that there were moments where Mark Zuckerberg could turn on this God mode type deal and then track these people down and stop some of this before it actually happens, which makes me feel like it's like the movie Minority Report, where they stop crime from happening before it was supposed to happen. So I don't know. It's super upsetting to hear something like this happen. And, it wasn't really until I started dating Shelby over a year ago that I thought, okay, now someone that I really love and care about is working in a school. And there's been, I can't remember what the number is of school shootings that have already happened in 2022, but I can't think of, I think it was somewhere around like 60, 70 school shootings. I'd have to look it up. If Sal would actually do his job, he could tell us this.
Of course.
But I can't really think of too many other ones that I've heard of. And it's the narrative of thoughts and prayers, put the flags at half mast. Oh, this really sucks. Thoughts with the families, but then nothing ever changes. So I don't know what needs to happen, but it is a bummer, and I hope that we see some change here soon.
100%. Yeah. So on a lighter note, and you were talking about Shelby, you just moved. You just drove from New Orleans back up to St. Louis, right?
Yeah, we got Shelby moved to St. Louis. She is now officially a St. Louisan. She would kill me if she heard me say that, and she probably doesn't even listen to the pod, so she won't hear that anyways. We could say all sorts of shit, but her family was awesome in getting her all moved here. So I was in New Orleans from Saturday until yesterday when we started the drive here early in the morning, and her dad was instrumental in getting the U-Haul packed up. Had a 20-foot U-Haul. That thing was packed to the brim, and he was Tetris master, getting everything in there. I think Shelby and I might have killed each other if he was not involved. But yeah, she's here, man. I think she's at Target right now, and she's shopping, and she wants ice cream. So I told her 75 hard starts here in a couple weeks, and that will be no longer.
Get it out now.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I will ever move. I mean, fuck, dude. I moved a mile about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was, and I used movers. I will never, ever, ever not use movers again because of how fucking unbearable it is to just everything about the packing. The packing's so tedious, and I fucking hate it. But like, even like everything about moving, I just hate it.
So did you have the movers pack up all of your shit too, and you were just like, these things need to go in boxes, these things need to go in boxes, or did you actually have to physically pack some of it?
No. Full transparency, I just paid my mom to do it. So,
that's epic.
Yes, it's a fucking strength of my mom's, and honestly, if I was there helping her, she'd just get pissed the fuck off anyway. So yeah, Judy took
Shout out to Judy.
Down. Oh yeah, she's a fucking saint. 100%. So speaking of Judy, so she cleans as like a part-time whatever. She's retired, my Airbnb. And last night, dude, I'm tired as fuck right now. I got woken up by my tenants last night because the upstairs tenants in my duplex, the downstairs people decided to throw a rager on a Tuesday night. And I guess this is like Airbnb parties, like especially for kids, are just running rampant in St. Louis right now. And like the Wash Ave area is trying to shut them down from happening. So I get a text from Parker, my guy upstairs, really cool dude, young guy, pretty relaxed, right? And he's like, hey, they're being pretty fucking loud downstairs. Could you have them quiet it down? So I texted this girl, nothing. Texted her again, called her, texted her, and then finally, I was like, well, this will probably spark something. I was like, if I don't hear back from you in 5 minutes, I'm just going to call the police on the place. And nothing. And it's like, so I was like, fuck it. I don't want to actually call the police right away. So I just like got out of bed, got dressed, and went over there. And there was, dude, there was like, it's a 2-bedroom house, 1,200 square feet. There was like 40 fucking people in this house. And so at first I just saw 3 kids, right? When I say kids, they're probably like 18, 19 years old. I saw 3 kids on the sidewalk, and they were walking up to the house. And then when they walked up, some guy answered the door, and I was like, hey, man, this is my place. I'm like, parties aren't allowed, like pretty whatever. I'm like, where's Jasmine? And he's like, my bad, dude, we didn't know. And he's like, let me grab her. And he opened up the door, and then just this cloud of smoke just blew out of there. And it smelled like a fucking Wiz Khalifa concert, dude. It was, so at that point I just walked in and I was like, everybody out. All right, guys, get out. And like a couple people started walking to the door. And then I said, all right, well, leave or not, but the police are on their way. So you can decide what you want to do. And then they fucking booked it. Like every single one of them. Cause they were underage. Like they were like barely, if not even graduated from high school. And, they took off, and most of them, when they're getting out, were pretty respectful, but there was like a couple like lingering around that were like yelling and screaming and yelling, fuck the police and fuck you, white boy. And I was just like, God damn it. I was like, whatever. But,
you are a white boy.
Yeah, it is true. Yes, I am. But it was, besides the like 3 or 4 that were yelling shit, like at the end, like I said, everybody was super respectful. But, I ended up having to call the cops anyway because they wouldn't leave, and like they didn't even return the key that I had. Obviously, if all of them just ran out, but other than that, wasn't bad. I was in and out in like 25, 30 minutes.
So all of them left, including the gal who rented the Airbnb.
I didn't even see her. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure I did at some point, but there was 40 people, and I couldn't tell who was who.
So if you're 18, you can rent an Airbnb, is that right?
Actually, that's a good question. I don't know. I think you have to be, no, it probably is 18. Like that makes sense to me. But the thing is, what these kids are doing is like they're, back in the day, like, and that's why I'm not even mad at them, right? Like we used to throw fucking ragers at hotel parties. You know what I mean? And so we do one or two things. We either get an adult that didn't give a shit to like put it under their name for us, or we would use a fake ID to have it under our name. And so I'm guessing they did one of those two things whenever they booked it. And like I said, it's like I didn't even necessarily care about parties, but I have tenants upstairs. There's quiet hours, and then obviously smoking in the house is an absolute no.
So I can say this as someone who, like, whenever I did we went to parties in high school. I was not like a huge partier in high school, but we never did anything in the hotel. It was always whose parents are out of town. But the Airbnb, I guess if you're 18 years old and you can book something like that, just tell them, oh yeah, I'm going for a sleepover over at Matt's, and then you just go rage at an Airbnb. I guess you can do shit like that.
Well, it's also, and we're talking about this a lot, and if there's any young kids out there, I'm probably just encouraging this at this point, but it's like, it makes sense because you pay $100, less than $100, and it's not just a, whatchamacallit, like a hotel room, right? It's like you don't have to worry about security there. It's like you get a place to yourself. Typically, it's multiple bedrooms plus other living areas. You know what I mean? It's like massive fridge. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's got a basement down there, so it's like perfect party spot. Again, I get it. I understand why you would do it, but don't fucking do it in my place.
And so they only booked it for one night?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's it.
Well, and a Tuesday night of all, like, I'm just thinking of what else was going on.
Graduation just like has been, like, it's right around now. So high school graduation. So it probably a pseudo graduation party if I had to guess for the kids just letting out of school.
Oh, good for those kids, I guess.
Yep. What else we got? So, job market update. So most people know by now, if you've been looking at the job market whatsoever over the past year and a half, the Great Resignation. Well, they're doing studies now saying that many people who just quit their job during the Great Resignation are quickly itching to quit the new job. Grant Thornton did a survey of about 5,000 employees. So 21% of American workers took a new job in 2021. Already, 40% of that 21% are looking again. LinkedIn data show that people having their jobs after being there less than 12 months rose by 6.5% this year. I mean, my thoughts, it's a candidate's market. It's a very candidate-driven market, and it's like, I get it. Why not take advantage of this? But the reason behind it is because people are making the move for the wrong reasons. It's okay to make a move and have money being a factor, but when it's the only factor, right? And especially if people, like employers know that they're overpaying you, they're going to get that money out of you some way, shape, or form for the most part. So it's like, I don't care if people want to fucking get their bag and make money, but it's like, make sure the other factors, like if the cultural fit's not there, or if it's not what you want to do, you're going to end up right back in the job market in less than 12 months, apparently, according to LinkedIn.
Yeah, I've been feeling this, especially with recruiting. Numbers went down for a little while there as far as number of applicants that we had, and now they seem to be trending back upwards. But like you said, it is a candidates market. We're pretty much just, I feel like I'm being interviewed whenever we are, I'm sitting in there and talking with these different folks. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I hope things start to change a little bit, but for the most part, I just feel like is this a good fit for that person? And hopefully we make the right decisions and find good hires. But it's kind of shitty right now trying to find good people.
It is. It's very tough to find good people. So what else we got? I know we had a handful of topics to talk about. Did you want to hit on any of them in particular?
Well, there's a couple things. You have Albert pitched, obviously, a couple weeks ago. Yachty got in there and got to throw some innings after the Cardinals were up 18-0 on Sunday. So I know Sal put together a couple things for us that we can wrap on. And that was, I was not watching it live or anything like that, but Yachty also gave up 2 home runs, just like Albert did. And now you can say, well, you got Albert pitching. You got Yachty pitching. Now they're saying the only thing that would make this better is if Waino got behind the plate and caught an inning closer to the end of the year.
Right.
So we'll see what happens with that. But, I mean, it's good to see the Cardinals blow some people the fuck out. But it was cool to see Yachty throw.
Wouldn't it be cool if there was an added element to baseball? And I know they're trying to do all these things like for baseball to like liven the game up. Wouldn't it be cool where it's just like there's like one random inning where you had to just have like a non-pitcher pitch or just somebody that knew nothing about that position actually play that position?
I think once you start doing that, you start getting into this turning into basketball. If you've ever watched that.
It's a great fucking sport, you know?
Speaking of basketball, there's actually, I can't remember who it is, but there's a business or something like that, and I'll have to look this up, but there is a basketball tournament that is going to be happening somewhere in St. Louis, and I looked at it, and I'm going to be out of town, so I hope that it happens again. But it's happening somewhere in St. Louis where they're gonna have a basketball league.
So
or a basketball tournament.
I might be able to find out. I mean, we can obviously find out who's running that, but a buddy of mine who's actually doing a lot of work here in St. Louis, but lives out of KC, his name's Luke Wade. And so he runs a handful of companies, one of which is called KC Crew, and they're the largest like rec sports organization. Everything from like softball, basketball, volleyball to like karaoke like leagues down there, you know, darts, bags, like you name it. They have like tens of thousands of people that compete in their leagues every year. Well, he held a basketball tournament and actually got Squeak from basketball to actually show up to the basketball tournament. He's doing. I doubt he's not really doing anything like sports related here. But does it say who it's held by?
So it looks like it's held by Up Down. It's going to be at Up Down STL, and it looks like it's partnered with Four Hands on October 2nd.
Okay.
So actually, and this may be a different one than I originally saw because I feel like I could be in town for that. But if that's the case, we should absolutely put together a basketball team. I don't know.
Teams of what? Yes.
Let's see. It is each team must consist of 3 to 9 players and include both men and women. 3 players will take the defensive court at a time. No contact, either direct or indirect, is prohibited, but everything else is fair game. And if you've ever seen basketball, you know, that's obviously throwing out some insults. Probably want to avoid racial slurs and things like that. But, you know.
Oh, in this
I fucked your
in this
sister,
climate,
like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And it looks like,
that would
they
be
got
fucking,
all the rules here.
That would be fucking sweet. And Dan always brags about how he's an athlete and can play every sport. So getting him on a basketball court would be pretty amazing.
I think this should be 100% something that we do as a podcast.
I'm in. So monkeypox is a thing?
So I saw that on his list of things, and honestly, I had not heard anything about this until Sal put this out here. So yeah, I don't know. I had chickenpox when I was a kid. I didn't know I don't know how monkeypox happens.
So like a couple of my buddies joked around about it, and I hadn't read into it, but it was like, oh fuck, all right, here we go. Another pandemic, another whatever. We're gonna be staying home. So I looked it up, just like a bit of it. It's the quote is, "This is not COVID." So you're probably not gonna get monkeypox from someone by brushing past them at a grocery store, and that's from the CDC official, Dr. Jennifer McQuiston, explained. So it's spread through continuous physical contact with a person who has an active rash. So realistically, it's just do what people normally do and don't fucking rub up against people who have any type of rash on them, whether it's monkeypox or anything else you can think of. So,
well, it says here, in some cases during the early stages of illness, the rash has been mostly in the genital and, I don't know this word, perianal. When I say it like that, I'm like, that's the butthole region.
Is it? Is it a butthole? What is it?
I don't know.
How do you spell it?
Perianal. Perianal area, said Dr. John Brooks, the CMO of the CDC's Division of HIV/AIDS Prevention.
It is around the anus.
Oh, okay.
Situated or affecting. So this is an STD.
Just say this is an monkeypox STD. Is absolutely an STD.
So why do they call it monkeypox? Like why? This is weird. Is this like the AIDS thing where they thought like when AIDS came from fucking monkeys?
Fuck.
So I mean, monkeypox seems like, I mean, I don't know, it had to come from monkeys, right?
I mean, so it says here that monkeypox got its name in 1958 when 2 outbreaks of a pox-like disease occurred in colonies of monkeys kept for research. So I think it just feels like they're just carrying this name on for some reason. I don't know. If we look at, like, you know how Clorox, before COVID came out, that had things listed on there, like what it could help prevent, and coronavirus was literally on like the Clorox bottles. Did you know that?
No.
It says
I did see that.
Use Clorox wipes to help prevent like spread of coronavirus,
Yeah.
which is the weirdest thing that it knew about that, because apparently this wasn't a thing until 2020.
No, but there was different strands that just obviously weren't, like, they knew about, like, it had been a thing.
Until
it was
Bill
just
Gates
19.
released it.
It was just 19, yeah. And then the whole pandemic thing. Yeah.
The pandemic. So yeah, maybe there's something on Clorox wipes that says to prevent monkeypox. I don't know.
Yeah. So basically, all we need to know about monkeypox is that, like, next time you go get tested for an STD, there's just going to be another box that might get checked.
hopefully it's monkeypox.
And hopefully it's monkeypox. But anywho, yeah, that's I think that's all we have. I'm good for this. Looks like we're good on time. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions, you can email us. Best way is to hit us through Instagram. Make sure you follow us on there. We've got a Facebook group. Subscribe on every major platform. And if you like any of the content or podcasts that we're putting out, please leave us a review. Otherwise, yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Later.
Deuces.